Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck. And today it is Power Hour, where every Wednesday we power rank something. And we are going to power rank the trade targets for fantasy football ahead of the trade deadlines. Depends on your platform. Sleeper, generally speaking, the default deadline in Sleeper is the end of week 11, which is weird. So I guess the end of Monday Night Football, which is of week 11 this week. So I think that's November 19th is the trade deadline in Sleeper. Yahoo, the default trade deadline is Saturday, November 22nd. And then ESPN, the default trade deadline is Wednesday, November 26th. But go to your settings, actually hit the little gear icon, check, because your commissioner might have changed it. And we're going to power rank basically trade targets ahead of the deadline. People that are playing well that we want to pay for, people that aren't playing well that we think are buy lows. DK, how do you go about trading in your 67 leagues that you're in?
I think, approaching people individually and asking them to do stuff is kind of the way to go about it, rather than just sending out blanket offers.
That's your move at bars too, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do stuff? I think trying to make it personalized is the way to go, because if you just send out blanket offers, people will just say no and then move on with their day. But yeah.
It's like Lil Dicky in his show Dave, his move when he goes and hits on women is he says, what is your openness to being hit on right now? And I feel like you can actually translate that a little bit to how you trade with somebody, where you almost go up to them and say like, hey, look, what is your willingness to making a trade?
What's your willingness to potentially ruin your team or make it better?
What's your willingness to getting ripped off by me right now?
That's actually, there you go. So there you go. You just the Lil Dicky approach to trades. Okay, we're going to get into just a bunch of trade targets in a moment. But first, we're going to take a quick break. This episode is presented by Chime. Bank smarter this season. Fantasy football is all about strategy. Well, here's a winning strategy for your money. Trade banking fees for fee-free banking, 1.5% cash back, getting paid when you say, and a higher APY on your savings. That's the lineup that wins. Stop banking the old way. Bank smarter through Chime. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and the secured Chime Visa credit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. Details at chime.com/fees info. With a qualifying direct deposit, earn 1.5% cash back on eligible secured Chime Visa credit card purchases. APY means annual percentage yield. Learn more at chime.com.
I feel like that's how Heifetz does trades. He's like, all right, let's get down to brass tacks. We got to make a deal.
That is.
Pours honey in your ear.
Right from there, we're coming back in right off that. Yeah, that is how I make trades. I have a radical approach. If I text people and ask, what do you want? And they tell me. And then if that
what can I do for you?
Yeah. Honestly, that's how you make trades. You stop worrying about you. You have to take 2 seconds to think about what that person needs. And that's like 80% of it, honestly.
Heifetz is like Howie Roseman. I kind of just won't trade with him.
Yeah.
I don't trust it. We've made small trades, but I won't do anything big. We almost made a massive Justin Jefferson trade in our Dynasty League. I didn't do it.
Everyone's just on the edge of their seat hearing about Dynasty Lamar Jackson trade or Justin Jefferson trade. I will say though, just general stuff, just approach to I think frames all this, because we talk a lot about buy lows in the beginning of the year. I think the end of the year is a little different. Again, it sounds really simple, but I think people forget this. You can't just make people make a trade. It's fantasy football. People have stuff going on. Like finding the right team is half the battle. So
yeah, for sure.
The obvious, like maybe this will sound super obvious, and if it does, you guys can make fun of me or whatever. But like just identify your timeline. Are you a November team or a December team? Like, what's more important? If you're just scrapping for a playoff spot, deal with the playoffs when you get there. Like, you're a November team. You need to win the next 4 weeks and make the playoffs. But if you're kind of already locked into the playoffs, you're just trying to lock in a bye and just like you're already going to make the playoffs. You're a December team. You're thinking about weeks 15, 16, 17. And if you get the bye, just 16, 17. So like, sure, like that's an important thing to figure out about what your needs are. Like November, December. The second one obviously is like, what do you need? Positions. Like, you don't need me to tell you. If you have Jaden Daniels and Kyler Murray, you're probably screwed at quarterback. Like, you need a quarterback. Just if you have Brock Bowers and Tyler Warren, then you're like, okay, I can get rid of a tight end. Figure out what you need, and then what do you have to trade? And then it's not complicated, but go through every team in your league from worst place to first place and be like, who's your opposite? You need to find your Bizarro team. If you have 2 tight ends that are great, find a team that has none and are streaming terrible ones every week. And then hopefully that team has what you need. And if there's a team that has like you need running backs and you have receivers and they have running backs and they need receivers. Like that's the ideal. If it's not that simple, mix that with the November, December thing. Like if the first place team, they don't want to make a trade, but maybe you're like scrapping and you have like Garrett Wilson, who just is now going to be out another 3 or 4 weeks. Garrett Wilson's useless to you if you're like 4-6 right now. And you need to just get back to like, you need
to start winning.
Yeah.
Right
So
now.
like the first place team might want like a Garrett Wilson, a Terry McLaurin, like some of these guys who are hurt and aren't going to play for like 6 weeks. They might want those guys. Or Omarion Hampton for the Chargers. The flip side is maybe if you're first place, you can go and get some of those guys because they're useless. But the point is, between the positions and time, just find someone who you don't have to like Svengali Rasputin trick. Just find someone who like has the opposite of what you need and just make a deal that helps both teams. You don't have to trick anyone.
Like many things in life, the key here is putting a little effort in. I think.
Yeah. Just take 2 seconds to
takes a
think
little
about whether it
time.
makes sense for them.
Yeah.
Treat your trade partner like a human being.
Right.
Yes.
Don't send them some bullshit offer.
And the
Poison
I think
the well.
The truest trade advice I can give you in fantasy football and probably in life too is the most transparently bullshit thing is if you have to really talk up the player you're getting rid of, it just is the most transparently bullshit. Like unless you need a very specific reason why you're getting rid of the player.
Yeah,
like
you got to give up something to get something. Like to be honest, you just got to be transparent. I do feel like honesty works. Like if you're like, hey, I'm really deep at X position and this guy's good, I'm willing to give him up for this. I honestly think that's just like a transparent, easy approach, and you can actually have like an open dialogue rather than both like lie to each other in a group in a text until both of you say no. Just be honest with them. Here's why I want that guy, and here's why I'm willing to give up this guy. The trade has to make sense for it to work, unfortunately. Like, it's kind of rare that you can truly just, like, bamboozle somebody. Right. Like, it does kind of have to work and make sense both ways.
And it's understanding the difference between sometimes, like, what you want and what you need. And sometimes you can't get what you want, but like, if you really need a tight end or you need a quarterback or something, like...
Don't let perfect get in the way of good.
Yes.
That's a great Rolling Stone song.
Is that really a song? I didn't know that.
Well, you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you want.
DK's like, perfect enemy of good. I didn't know the Stones had one of those.
You can't always get what you want. It's a great song.
It is funny how some of the key to those early hits are like, man, they just had all the sayings.
They did.
Like, and none of the sayings had been mine.
I mean, their name is a saying.
It's kind of like old movies. It's like, man, they had the concepts. Like,
no one's done a bank robbery yet?
It's like, guy loves girl. Wow.
Whoa, this resonates.
Teen wants to get laid. This is going to make $1 billion. Wow.
The Beatles were like, have you guys heard about like love? I'm like, fuck, no one's hit that yet.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then also the most timeless rule of all, which is in addition to what we're saying, don't lowball people, the blurb rule. It'll be 10 times easier to get a player if the blurb is negative. Like if you open a player's, like nobody makes a trade without reading that blurb. And it's probably the first and last thing they'll click on before they do the deal. And if the blurb says stock soaring because it's just crushing this amazing talented player versus DK Metcalf scoreless again.
Once again, gets like 3 targets.
Really
AJ Brown, Jesus Christ. What are you going to do with this guy?
It really is easier to get a player if their blurb is negative. So anyway, just keep all that in mind. So with that said, we're going to get to trade targets for the trade deadline. And really, seriously, make sure to check your trade deadline. And let people know.
How did you rank these, by the way? By the ones you like the most?
I ranked them in the order that I thought would be good for a conversation, and we can figure out during the show what is actually the best target here.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end, let's elect the single best trade target.
I think that is the right move.
Ooh, I like it.
Starting with the number one person who's most intrigued by.
Wait. We're doing Tom, right?
Sorry.
Come on. He's been off. Tom was off last week.
I know. You're right. Rusty,
he had a hammy, but he's back.
Like AJ Brown. Well, no, he's going to try harder. But yeah, we're going to power rank all these. Well, really at the end. But we're going to do this power hour style. So every 2 minutes, you're going to hear this sound.
Good to have you back, Mr. Club.
Like they never left. Number one. And again, these aren't all buy low. Some of these people are playing all right. But
I was going to say, this first one goes against what we just said. So I'm curious.
Number one is Jameson Williams, the receiver for the Lions, which is funny because DK threw this out, and it's like Jameson Williams kind of in battle year and then has one great week, and DK is like trade target. But I kind of agree. So DK, why?
He's had 2 good weeks.
He's had 2 good weeks in a row. I think really this is a gut thing for me more, and I recognize that it's pretty risky because Jameson Williams has been all over the map this year. He's been very high variance in the sense that some days he'll get 5-6 targets and be a big part of the offense. And then in other games, he's absolutely invisible, which actually makes me think he'd be like he could be had for a reasonable cost. He's not going to cost you like a really big player. But it just felt intentional to me that the way that Dan Campbell incorporated him into their offense, into the Lions offense after taking over play calling this week, got him involved more in the short and intermediate, the crossers, the things where he can catch the ball and run rather than just straight up chucking it downfield and hoping he can make a play. So there was an intentionality there that I felt, and kind of just a gut feeling that they're going to try and use him a lot more. They recognize that when they're using him a lot, it makes their offense much more dangerous. And obviously they signed him to this big contract. They talked him up all offseason, and he hasn't really done a lot this year. So I think maybe he could be a second half player. So Jameson Williams overall risky, but I think the upside is there.
I don't disagree with you that like also the Lions have a nice schedule coming up that we'll get into. But the only tough part is just like people have probably been holding on to him all year on their bench, trying to play him when they think it makes sense. He's been burning them. But he had a good week last week. And even if you didn't start him last week, they probably started him this week against the Commanders, and then he blew up. So I do feel like you might have to offer something decent to get him.
Yeah, I think, people could use it as an excuse to sell high too, thinking he might be really high variance.
With that said, it's easier
depends.
to acquire a wide receiver than say a running back or something like
Always. I think the biggest issue with fantasy rankings, and something I want to talk about how to fix with you guys next year, is rankings don't account for the fact that 4 weeks in, everyone wants running backs and everyone's trying to turn receivers into running backs.
Yeah, like I've been trying to acquire a running back in my home league, and I go to each team and I look at and I'm just like, there's no way anybody's going to give me one of these like 2 or 3 running backs on their team, even if they're mediocre. It's all they have.
So speaking of which,
I know.
Number 2 guy here, and I'm curious what you guys think. Craig, you had David Montgomery, the running back for the Lions.
Yeah, so I think you could get away with this one because he hasn't had more than 10 fantasy points since week 5, and he's been pretty mediocre all season. And a little bit to DK's point about Dan Campbell. Campbell calling plays. Dan Campbell likes David Montgomery. And I'm kind of just
he likes the style he brings.
He likes the 1-2 punch. He likes evening things out a little bit more. And the numbers bore out yesterday. Like David Montgomery outsnapped Jahmyr Gibbs 75 to 25% in long down and distance stuff. Montgomery played the highest percentage of snaps he's played all season. They were under center way more. There was way more play action. And also, so I think he's been a little light in the touchdown department. I kind of think that's more variance. He's still like the guy who's playing the most snaps inside the 5-yard line, all that stuff. Like I'm just kind of betting on the Lions. Also, they have 4 of their next 5 games are indoors. They have 3 straight home games. They play the Cowboys. They play the Giants. So I do think that I'm just kind of betting on David Montgomery, kind of getting back to old school David Montgomery over these next 7 weeks.
I totally agree. David Montgomery passes the blurb test because even like Yahoo, it's like Montgomery was overshadowed by a huge performance from Jahmyr Gibbs. This is the time. I agree with what you're saying, Craig. Like the Lions are going to score a lot. To your point, the Lions play the Eagles this week on Sunday Night Football. And then after that, the Lions don't play outside again. Not for fantasy. Like the Lions after the Eagles, it's like home for the Giants, home for the Packers, home for Dallas, which is going to be like a lot of points. At Rams for SoFi Stadium, home for the Steelers, and then they're at Minnesota, who has a dome. So the Lions are just going to be at a dome. And since 2022, which is when the Lions really started, this version of it really began, the Lions averaged like 7 points more indoors than outdoors. So, and that's not like, a guarantee or anything, but I think the Lions are going to go bananas, just actually scoring bonanza going forward. Mm-hmm. So all of them. So with that said, DK, would you trade David Montgomery for Jameson Williams?
That's a good one. Sure. Yeah.
I would rather
Win-win.
Montgomery.
Well, yeah. I mean, also,
Depends,
you usually always want a running back than a wide receiver. But in terms of just value, like let's say for some weird reason you are deep at running back, you would get rid of David Montgomery to acquire Jameson Williams, DK.
Yeah, I think that's in the ballpark. By the way, Anthony Amico tweeted at us that TomTom plays during transitions in the show Loot on Apple TV.
Oh, the Vince Vaughn show? Is that with Vince Vaughn?
I don't know. Loot.
Or is that with
no,
Maya
that's
Rudolph?
with Maya Rudolph.
Yes.
Oh, that's the one where she's like Mackenzie Bezos knockoff. Yeah,
is
Maya
that
Rudolph
right?
is like, she's the one it's like
She,
Mackenzie
like, takes
Bezos.
over.
She divorces the richest man in the world.
Oh,
She's
yes.
$50 billion in cash.
The Vince Vaughn
right.
show is Bad Monkey.
Right. TomTom is in Loot. Okay. If anyone
TomTom's
involved
It's
in
kinda
transitioned. Maybe they're fans of the show.
Haven't we seen Tom on ESPN before in train? They
do
they were doing
kind of
Monday Night Football.
They were doing Big Energy by Lotto.
Oh, right.
So kinda.
But really, Tom, if you think about it. Number 3, similar vein. I have Derrick Henry, the running back for the Ravens, which I feel like Derrick Henry's probably the single most talented player on an elite team that is super acquirable now because he has been bad enough that we've made fun of him. He hasn't had a nuclear Derrick Henry performance. When the Ravens offense was all healthy, the whole, frankly, defining part of the Ravens was, other than injuries, was Derrick Henry fumbling a lot. He literally showed his ass. I mean, but Derrick Henry, after this week, it's Cleveland, which is a tough defense. Then it's like the Jets. They get the Bengals twice. The Steelers, where Derrick Henry ran for 200 yards last year. I don't know. DK, where are you at on versus Derrick Henry could lose a little playing time to Keaton Mitchell versus Derrick Henry could just go nuclear down the stretch again?
I think it's more likely the latter, that he'll just go nuclear down the stretch. This is a great trade target, I think, because my initial reaction is this is kind of tough because right now my confidence level on just him in general is so low, but it's Derrick Henry. I mean, he's done this year in and year out. I don't think he doesn't look significantly different than he has in other years in terms of like when he gets going, he still looks really fast to me. I just think they just haven't really got the run game rolling, but I think that he could be had, like you said, he could be had for a lot less than, he could be traded for.
I think this is a great one, Heifetz. I fully agree. Watching Baltimore this year, like last week they played Minnesota, who's a really good defense, and they give the Ravens trouble, and he had a mediocre game, but like he's just been a little thin in the touchdown department. And then we talked about how he like can't punch the ball in from the 1 yard line, but I still think it's all there. And I think the Ravens are still like getting their shit together and getting better, and Lamar's getting healthier. And I totally agree that I think it's more likely that he has a classic Derrick Henry. Just like he gets better in the second half of games, I think he'll get better in the second half of the season.
That was the thing for the longest time too, is yards per carry went up in every month.
Yeah.
It was just bizarre.
No, I think I think this one just makes a ton of sense. Their schedule's so bad. Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals.
It's
dude, when the weather gets cold, tackling Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Again, the only tough thing is just like, is somebody going to get rid of Derrick Henry, who's like they probably spent $45?
Well, this is where you could include a running back and a receiver to acquire Henry and someone else, or just like it's where if you have a bunch of players that are on your bench, it's like this is where you can approach someone who has Derrick Henry, and they might look at, and you're hoping they look at it as this person who I'm getting is probably going to be just as good as Henry to running back, and I could use.
Yeah, I know you got to offer like ETN and I don't know a receiver with it. ETN and I don't know, Courtland Sutton? Probably not. You're probably not doing that.
You have Courtland Sutton. You hate Courtland Sutton.
He's been
really frustrating.
I almost put Courtland Sutton on this list alone.
He's been so fucking annoying this year.
Never draft Broncos.
If you're willing to do Broncos, I will say though, the Broncos to me are a buy low solely for the virtue that everyone just watched them on Thursday Night Football and is out on Denver because they saw that game. And I'm like, Courtland Sutton will just be better going forward. Solely because everyone's agreed Bo Nix and Sutton are bad.
It's not hard to be better going forward based on what he's done the last 5 days. But yeah.
Jaylen Warren, running back for the Steelers. Is next
interesting.
Up.
Who has this? DK?
I got that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's not necessarily someone who is looked at as a bad fantasy player, but I think he does still suffer from, he's just not a star. And I think, depending on what position when you look for, probably trading for like a quarterback or a, receiver, something like that. But I think Warren has a real potential to be like a low end running back 1 / high end running back 2 down the stretch. Just a really useful and reliable running back for your team. He's getting most of the play since he came back from his injury. So 70% of the rushes, he's about a 10% target rate, around 16 touches per game, which I think could go up as they play easier teams down the stretch. The last 3 games that the Steelers have played, the Chargers, the Colts, and the Packers all have like pretty good defenses. And going forward, they play the Bengals, Bears, Bills. The Ravens have a good defense, I think, so that one will be tough. But then the Dolphins after that. So they got a really easy stretch here coming up of defenses, and I think that Jaylen Warren could like far outplay kind of like his perceived value right now.
He's like the most dependable offensive player on the Steelers right now. The only fear with him is he's a little bit of an in-between the 20s guy. Like he just doesn't get into the end zone that much.
Yeah.
But the bad defenses is what you have to bet on then getting in the red zone. Like Rodgers is actually throwing a lot when they're inside the 10 and getting these like short little touchdowns. That's why he has so many touchdowns this year. And he doesn't have a lot of yards. But no, Warren is great, super dependable. I wish he threw to him a little bit more. I feel like he doesn't catch as many passes as he should. but rock solid.
The other Steeler that I like a lot for a buy low is DK Metcalf for the same reason. Everyone just saw the Steelers get embarrassed in Sunday Night Football. People
That's a good
Rodgers
one.
is cooked. And DK Metcalf,
And
you
again,
open
to
the thing,
that schedule coming up.
Yahoo
yeah.
blurb, DK Metcalf disappears in lopsided Week 10 loss. Great blurb. And then you look, you're like, he had 5 points, 1 point, 14, then 6. I think Metcalf is one of the better receivers that, probably the best receiver that the person who has him is like actually nervous about playing him each week.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he has a ton of upside. But
He's
I think
just
Metcalf's
missed
like
on a
acquirable.
few big plays too recently.
Yes, like the touchdown at the end, like in that game. Like I think Rodgers is not going to stop throwing Metcalf the ball. The problem is, I think a lot of defenses are going to treat Metcalf the way Jamar Chase should be treated on the Bengals, which is going to be like, yeah, we're going to make Calvin Austin, who can't catch the ball. They're going to just take away Metcalf and be like, yeah.
God, Calvin Austin is he just going to get sent back to the bench, Craig?
I think yes.
Roman Wilson?
Honestly, it depends if like Roman Wilson can step up. He makes a few garbage time plays every game, but there's not a lot of other options.
Calvin Austin has 2 strikes. If he has another horrible drop, Rodgers will not Tyler Wright at 4th unless he has to and they run out of people. But yeah, I think Metcalf and Warren are great choices.
Did we get it under the gun there? Wow, we're being really efficient today. Speaking of wide receivers who just get doubled and don't get thrown the ball, dare I suggest AJ Brown, who
this is
the bias
as
low.
Bold, as bold as you can get.
This is the lowest buy of all buy lows.
I mean, just a crucial letdown on Monday Night Football. The amount of people who probably went into Monday Night Football needing 6, 7, 8, 9 points, thinking they got a shot, and he gives you 3.
2 catches for 13 yards.
2 catches for 13 yards, 3 targets. And look, it will have been, by the time next week comes along, it'll basically have been a month since AJ Brown did anything good for you. Week 9, he was ruled out with a hammy, kind of like out of nowhere. So you missed.
And it was
week
ahead
9.
of the trade deadline. It was kind of like, what's going on here?
Then week 10 they have a bye, and then week 11 he has 3 points. So it's been a long time. And look, I've been as critical of the Eagles' offense as anybody, but I'm like, you could probably get him for next to nothing. And everybody who has AJ Brown, including myself on a team, you've been figuring it out without him, like Troy Franklin, Romeo Dobbs. Like there have been guys that you've grabbed on the waiver wire this year that you are playing over AJ Brown half the time because he's been so bad. Like, and if you look at the Eagles' schedule, they play the Lions, the Cowboys, the Bears, the Chargers, Raiders, Commanders, Bills. 5 of the 7 teams they're playing are bottom 8 in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. It is a huge risk, but I think people are so fed up with AJ Brown, who's the wide receiver 42 on the season. Like, could you trade Alvin Kamara for AJ Brown? Probably.
After Kamara, pretty good game this last week. Yeah, maybe.
Ken Walker? Could you give up Ken Walker to get AJ Brown?
I think you could. I think people, like you said, Craig, are totally fed up with him and would part with him for not a whole lot. He's
basically had 2 good games this year.
Devontae Smith is outscoring him. I mean, maybe that was obvious, but Devontae Smith has more fantasy points than him this year.
There are certain players, mostly receivers, where the actual vibe right now with managers is like, I actually want this guy off my team. Mm-hmm. It's AJ Brown. And then on like Brian Thomas, who's hurt and has an ankle sprain, and like, but those guys are available for such crazy discounts. The funny part is, AJ, what would have to happen where you could put AJ Brown in your lineup and actually feel good about it?
Look, you're betting on a good player and a good team.
Even Dallas in week 1, he went 59 minutes without a target, which is just incredible. But again, it's just smart by the dip, because in real life, he's still a top 5 real life receiver, even if he's not getting the fucking ball. So it's smart.
This is a good buy low because I personally want nothing to do with the AJ Brown thing,
and
I would give him away for very low.
Rashad White, like you could give like kind of these random running backs.
Rashad White for AJ Brown's a good. Yes, that's a great example. I bet that's doable. Ringer Fantasy Football Show is brought to you by FanDuel. Thursday Night Football continues to deliver, and FanDuel's keeping the energy up with their $2 million Thursday Night Football jackpot. Place an anytime touchdown scorer bet using your profit boost, and if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll earn a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Thursday Night Football this week, Patriots-Jets. I feel like Justin Fields might play for the Jets this week, even though Justin Fields, I feel bad. He's a nice guy, but he has had one of the worst passing stretches I think there's ever been for a quarterback. where he's, I mean, under 60 yards passing at 4 games this season is insane. I don't
brutal.
know what his over-under will end up
I've never
being.
seen anything like it.
No, it's actually kind of crazy to the point where I actually think Tyrod Taylor switching him on a short week would be better, even with almost no practice, because frankly, there's no chance Tyrod Taylor will do worse than 54 yards passing, even with no practice. Like, there's no way. Either way, I can't tell you the Patriots line. I don't care what the Patriots line is. I would bet the Patriots line, or at least the money line. I think with the kicker over on field goals for the Patriots, whatever, like this is, I just would be really surprised if Mike Vrabel is not able to just coach and just basically put the bumpers up on the bowling alley around the Jets offense this week. Unders on the Jets, Patriots to win everything. I have never felt so strongly that that an offense was so bad about a bunch of people who are individually likable. I like Aaron Glenn. I like Justin Fields. I like Breece Hall. They seem like nice people. Tyrod Taylor, how unfortunate, but make money betting against them. Head to FanDuel.com/RingerFantasy to download the app and get started. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in, must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
Serious question. Do you think if his life depended on it, and I was playing quarterback for his team, he could get me more than 54 passing yards in a game?
I think
little jet sweep flips,
maybe
little
if
screen.
the defense didn't know it was you, if you could put on Jared Goff's jersey,
yeah,
then or I guess Bears, whatever. I think that if it took them like a little bit, because once they knew it was you, then they would just not care. But if he could get you like the little pop pass thing. Yeah. And maybe you got like 2 plays to break one, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, it'd be the Lions because I could pass for a skinny, tall, white guy like Jared Goff.
Yeah. So like you'd have like 3 plays and then they figured out that you're probably not Jared
Like
Goff.
Justin Fields had, in week 2, Justin Fields had 27 passing yards. I feel like I could do that. I just feel like, right?
I don't think you could.
You don't
think
I could?
If
Dan Campbell is scheming it up for me, you don't think I can get 27?
You could do the pop pass thing. You could probably walk out with a week of practice. You could walk out and like do the little pop pass. You just give it to Jameson Williams.
First play, little pop pass. Second play is like I do a scramble back screen pass. I might be at 27 already, and then they figure out who I am and they yank me. But
we should do. We're gonna do this. The end of this season, when we do the rewatchables and we recap the season, we all should get to pick one thing that we think we could have done on the year. Like, there's one play that like I could have done that. Maybe that'll be yours.
DK, would you trust yourself more to complete a screen pass or kick an extra point?
Hit a screen pass, I think.
The thing about screen is because it goes behind the line of scrimmage, you're like, that doesn't mean it's 0 yards. Like, a screen could be like 25 yards. That's far for a normal fucking person to throw a football.
I feel like there's just more variables when you're kicking it. I feel like
there's way less variables when you're kicking it.
There's less variables than just chucking it to a guy.
You have to, as a quarterback, you have to do an offense.
The screen pass is tough because the whole point of the screen pass is the offensive line allows the lineman to chase you before you pass the ball.
Oh, I guess it depends on what kind of screen we're running here. Yeah.
I think there's definitely more variables.
Screen, or like if I have to do anything tricky, I was thinking you just like hike the ball and throw it to like a smoke pass, or
to like a wide receiver bubble screen. That's
but you don't even have. But you have to hike the ball. You don't even do that as the kicker.
You have
the
to
fucking holder does it.
You have to catch it.
What are the variables on a kick?
I don't know. It's not that easy to kick a ball. I don't know.
No, but I'm saying anything that affects the kicker weather is going to affect the quarterback.
Throw a ball more than I do to kick a ball. Is that okay?
19.
Why did you ask me if you're just going to try and talk me out of it?
I did. He asked.
Okay, well, okay. Do you think you'd rather kick it then? That's cool.
I just had to quibble of the variables.
Okay.
I think the field goal has the least variables of any play.
I think, okay, variables is maybe the wrong word. Variance is what I was thinking. I think the ball could just come off your foot totally different. I feel like I'm more confident in my ability to throw a football than to kick it.
I love just tossing a hot potato between you two and then bailing.
Jesus Christ. This guy could argue about truly anything. I like legitimately any subject in the universe.
It's a skill. It's a skill.
I mean, I was right about that part, but it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just
Shall we
saying, there's no
continue?
variables on a kick. You just go up and kick it.
You don't think the snap and the hold are variables?
Yeah, but it's their job to put it down. You don't have to deal with the hold.
It's the center's job to hike the ball. You just have to catch it.
Well, but you have to call. There's a cadence that you have to get right. You have to
You
snap
have to
the
do,
ball.
you're having to do all that too. Okay. I see.
I think there are more.
I'm fucking prisoner in this argument. I
I'm
don't even
just saying,
care.
we'll move on.
I don't want to fucking talk about this anymore.
I'm just saying.
It's
It's complicated.
I'm
Call
going to do
play.
that thing where, hey, Heifetz, excuse me for a minute, and then I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
All right.
I'm leaving the argument.
Vikings
Oh.
next top target. All right, next trade target here. Vikings running back Aaron Jones. DK. He's never had to kick a
2
field.
minutes
Actually,
on
no,
the clock for Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I bet Aaron Jones could fucking kick a field goal.
I think he did kick something once. Wait.
Why does it feel familiar that he kicked it? I don't know
I think
why.
he did.
Anyways, Aaron Jones, I think just clearly has way more juice at the running back position than Jordan Mason. I think Jordan Mason is a good running back, but he's not very fast, not very explosive. I think Aaron Jones provides an element of speed that the Vikings desperately need. And in this last game, in fact, in the last two games, and props to Dwayne McFarland, who pointed this out, basically he was getting the massive lion's share of the volume before he got hurt 2 weeks ago. He went out with like an AC joint sprain. And then this last week, he against the Ravens, he 72% of snaps, which is like bell cow usage, ran a ton of routes, 15% target rate, got all the carries inside the 5-yard line, all the 2-minute drill stuff. So he was the guy for them. And I think we could see that going forward. And importantly, they have some decent opponents on the schedule. I mean, obviously they play the Packers and the Seahawks, which is not easy, but they play the Bears next week, the Commanders in a few weeks, and then in the playoffs, it's the Cowboys and Giants and Lions. So some really good opponent matchups in that game, in those games, and I think they're just going to give the ball to him a lot. J.J. McCarthy still hasn't really proven anything. I think they want to rely on their playmakers. So Aaron Jones, if someone is willing to part with him, obviously he's not going to be super cheap, certainly not as cheap as he was when he was injured, but I think there's proof of concept there that he's going to be the guy.
I think Aaron Jones has been largely irrelevant this season, which helps your case, DK.
Yeah.
I think like people have had to make do without him for so long, and even when he has played, it hasn't really been that great. So I do think this is like an attainable. This is like an aging guy who splits time in a backfield on a mediocre offense.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you that when he's on the field, he straight up looks better than Jordan Mason, who I kind of was not impressed with in the time that Aaron Jones was out. He didn't really do a lot with it.
No.
Aaron Jones.
Cut off by Tom.
I mean, Tom knows that end an argument.
Did you look up the Aaron Jones kicking thing?
I couldn't. I don't think he's kicked the ball. I don't know
Why
why
did we both have that?
That was weird.
that-
Anyway, Aaron
that
Jones playing Dallas
impression
first. Aaron Jones playing Dallas the first round of the playoffs is if you're going to clinch the playoffs, a pretty great person to target. Another person that I think if you are a playoff team in fantasy and you are going to make it, that you could target is Omarion Hampton, the running back for the Chargers. This one is, I think, a good example of taking a leap, but you don't have to spend that much to figure it out, because Omarion Hampton, rookie running back for the Chargers, first round pick, not lived up to how high you took him, obviously, because the injury, he got hurt, and then the Chargers tackles got hurt, so it's not this thing. Commander Vidal has been good in relief, but Jim Harbaugh said that Omarion Hampton probably is not going to be back until week 13. But if it's his first game back as a rookie from injury, he's probably not going to have a full workload in week 13. So maybe he'd have a full workload in week 14. That's December 4th. So if you have him, if someone else in your league has Omarion Hampton, and Omarion Hampton or the team that has him is, again, 5-5, just trying to get in the playoffs, you might be able to give them some kind of short-term player that they need now, and then you can just stick Omarion Hampton maybe on your injured reserve slot, not even use a spot on him for like a month maybe or 3 weeks. And then if he comes back and does usurp Kamani Vidal, you'd have Omarion Hampton for the playoffs. It's not like necessarily foolproof, but I think if the person who has Omarion Hampton is not like locked into a playoff spot, I don't think they need that much for him necessarily. So I think that's someone that I would go and knock on the door for Hampton.
Yeah,
I agree.
like that.
Hampton also just looks great. When he played, I like fully believe in him as a talent.
Exact same logic also for Trey Benson, the running back of the Cardinals, where he played like one game without James Conner, or without James Conner. Trey Benson got hurt, went to injured reserve. I don't know exactly when Trey Benson's going to come back, but the Cardinals play the Bengals in week 17. and the Bengals are the worst run defense in the league. And that's something where if you're in first or second place and you might get a bye and you want to just stash a running back on IR just on the deep bench, and then the person who has him maybe isn't going to play him. I think Trey Benson, Hampton, super acquirable people if they're on like mid teams.
Right. Like look for the teams that can't afford to wait around for these guys anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
The Hampton team has to be struggling and they need wins now. If that team's in first or second place, it won't work. But if they're like 4-5 right now or something, or 5-5.
Next up here, Craig, you put Rashid Shaheed, Seahawks receiver after they traded for him from the Saints. This is smart.
Yeah, I just think he's kind of been, I mean, he's irrelevant and he has had 2 games with more than 10 points this year. With this, trying to trade for him, but basically I'm banking on it being week 11 and people have just made do without Shaheed for the whole season. And I really think he could crush and win you weeks. Like he's going to be high variance, but I think the spike weeks with him, I mean, you go back to last year on the Saints, the first 2 weeks with the Saints, Derek Carr, Kubiak, he was the wide receiver 8. The first 5 weeks, he was the wide receiver 21. He was top 10 in yards per route run. He had over 70 yards in 4 of the first 5 games before he got hurt with the Saints last year. And Derek Carr was just going deep to him. And it's exactly what Darnold is good at and what they have been doing. Darnold is first in explosive pass rate in the league this year. He's first in air yards per attempt. And it's just a perfect fit. It's exactly what Shaheed does well. And maybe you can bank on the fact that with the Seahawks game, they won by so much. Shaheed did absolutely nothing. He ran 8 routes. It's not his fault. Darnold
they threw twice in the second half.
Yeah, so it's like it's good. And maybe people are going to be like, oh, well, that didn't work. Like,
yeah,
he's going to be kind of an afterthought in this offense or whatever, or super boom or bust. I can't rely on that right now. But if you're a good team and you kind of want to take a shot on a guy who come like week 14, 15, 16, could be catching 60-yard touchdowns, I think Shaheed is a fantastic pick. And there's not a lot of other competition. Like Darnold does not throw to the tight ends that much. He does not throw to the running backs that much. There's like Cooper Kupp and Torrey Horton, who was inactive last week. I think it really could be a blow-up spot for Shaheed in December.
The fear is that Rashid Shaheed can make the Seahawks better in real life just by existing and just stretching the field horizontally and vertically, but also the best way to get teams to respect that is to hit a couple bombs through Shaheed. So I think that's a great call. Especially
I think they used him on Wilson. They used him on a couple like running back carries.
In the
game. So maybe there's some more to how they see him being utilized in their offense going forward. Obviously, that's not going to be like enough to bank on for fantasy, but Kubiak knows him and knows him well and knows how to incorporate him into their offense. I think this last week it was just the game got out of hand immediately. They scored 2 defensive touchdowns in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden they're like, we don't have to do anything for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I still don't really understand why somebody like JSN this entire season has been just completely unstoppable. And yet AJ Brown was like, oh yeah, they shifted the safety over, so I wasn't open. I'm like, why the fuck? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why do you do that to Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I think, when you put it like that, it
well, it's like, so you're telling me 10 defenses in a row have not thought of that against JSN?
It's like, oh, Jerry Rice. Oh, you know what? I was doing well for a while there, but then
he's the only good player on the offense.
But then
basically.
They moved the safety over. I think honestly, I think Kubiak's scheme is like really good. And obviously, the way that they can scheme him open. And also JSN has been awesome. Like route runner. They've been getting him involved over the middle of the field on in-breakers, on deep shots, on wheel routes. They had like one wheel route the other day where he like ran a route from the backfield at the running back spot. So it's just, they're just really getting him involved in a lot of smart ways. It's a testament to the play calling
because A.J. Brown is obviously talented and is like a top 10 talent, but they are not able to get him the fucking football.
I think also the difference is that when Njigba has been smothered, Sam Darnold has gotten touchdowns to Torrey Horton and AJ Barner, and Darnold has consistent, maybe not consistently for fantasy, found different, like the same guy, like a number 2, but Darnold has really consistently gotten the ball around the offense when it is in Njigba. So, but Kubiak, that's why I kind of want Kubiak for the Giants. Like I think Kubiak's, I've kind of seen enough. Like I'm impressed.
Yeah,
I know.
You can get Clint and Clay.
I'll take that.
There's
Give me
a
all
Clay?
7.
Yeah,
there's
Clay.
A Clay.
He's
what
on the
about
Niners.
Klein? Isn't there a Klein?
Oh wait, is it Klein?
I think there's a Clay and a Klein.
Clay is on the Niners.
Right, because there were 3 Ks. And
What's Klein doing?
Klein is where is
he in
Klein?
College?
Klein is a scout for the Cowboys. Clay is the.
No wonder the Cowboys' offense is so good.
Clint, Clay, and Klein. It's a lot of K's.
There's 3, in fact.
That's
Getting frisky.
it's the
What are the
wrong
middle
number.
names? of all
Any
these
number
men?
other than that is better. It's
Should I
the worst
check-
amount of K's.
Let me check the middle name on all these people. Hold on.
I think we did this. They're not K's.
We checked.
Okay, we did.
I'm pretty sure.
A
I feel like that'd be
smattering
a
of
big
other
talking
people.
point if it
It
was.
There's no way we would. Be
I
the
think
first
they're all
people to figure that out.
KAK.
CAC.
Clay Anthony Kubiak, Clint Alexander Kubiak, and I can't find Klein's.
Are you
There's
guys
no
into
Wikipedia.
planning kind of names like that? Like having like a larger like universe your kids' names are fitting into, basically? That isn't just like my father was named this, but you're like, they're all gonna have these initials.
I'm not like against it, but I wouldn't do that.
I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. I don't have
Yeah.
strong feelings about it. Do you?
I've just never occurred to me, and when I would just never think of it, and then when people do that, I'm kind of like, I don't even know. It's not that I judge it or not. I just kind of don't even know where they're coming from.
I kind of like it, like in the Game of Thrones universe, all the brothers and sisters have like very similar names. I kind of think it's cool, but that's in the Game of Thrones universe. And
Do you like when the
not
Kardashians'
real
name all
world.
start with K?
Not as much.
No, you
Doesn't
don't.
doesn't hit the same.
I forgot about that because Courtney's a K.
Chris, Courtney, Kendall, Kylie,
Huh.
Chloe.
Oh,
Kim.
I actually never put that together. They're KKs too. We should mix the Kubiaks and the Kardashians.
Wow. I can't think of a famous person that they would want to date less than a Kubiak.
Times are getting rough. Times
So-
are getting bad for the Kardashians.
Did
Yeah.
you say Kim didn't pass the bar?
Yeah.
When she tried to study with AI. What where's
She-
Tom Tom? Did we pass Tom Tom?
Oh yeah,
ages
sorry.
ago?
No, I
Tom-
just was gonna do a smattering of just other players that I don't know if I want to endorse, but I just think are acquirable. Cortland Sutton, because everyone's out in the Broncos, just pure buy low. If you need a receiver and like you can't get any bites, you're like, you know what? People give you Cortland Sutton. People have no interest in him, and it's like a dart. I don't even know if I endorse that though. Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots, just another kind of on principle. You've probably never been easier to get him all season than
Yeah.
right now because
And you know the second he's back, Vrabel's slotting him right into the starting.
Yeah.
lineup.
just in
90%
case.
snaps. Yeah.
part of me thinks Ramondre comes back. It's, you know, even if he misses this week, the Patriots have like the easiest running back left for, the easiest schedule left for running backs. So if Ramondre does get the job back, he could be pretty incredible. But whoever has him is probably panicking about the injury mixed with Travion Henderson having big games. You could kind of strike there.
Yeah.
Hard to
Trey
trade
does
for
have a
running
knee
backs.
injury also.
Yeah, it's probably fake because I think he had that before he had that long run, but people
He
don't
did.
know that.
But sometimes these guys can like play through it, finish the game, and then they're actually hurt.
Adrenaline.
And then just other people that I think are acquirable, Ricky Pearsall for the Niners, and also just Brian Thomas Jr. for the Jags, which is if you're really high, if you really just want to take like we always talk about, add Luther Burden. And I'm like, you could do that. But also, I think whoever's Brian Thomas, if they're not really high, I think they're
You give me anyone, I'll give you Brian Thomas.
I think they want to cut Brian Thomas, but kind of can't out of pride.
Give me anyone of value, I'll give you Brian Thomas.
So I think if you just
Would you rather have AJ Brown or Brian Thomas?
AJ Brown.
well, AJ Brown because he doesn't have
Easily.
an ankle sprain, he just plays like it. But I don't know. I don't know if you have to give anything up for Brian Thomas because if you're 5-5, he's not even playing. He's hurt.
So should we decide now? Should we pick the single best
The
trade
best
target?
one.
I like David Montgomery because I just think he could. I think David Montgomery and Derrick Henry have like crazy ceilings and haven't done it yet, and you could acquire. It's hard to pick a running back. It's just hard to get a running back.
I think my favorite one on here, and to be clear, I don't feel great about this, but I think that makes him much more acquirable is Derrick Henry. I think his ceiling is infinitely higher than any of these other guys that we've talked about. He could be a true league winner.
You're just gonna have to give up a lot because like he hasn't been that bad. He's just been okay.
Yeah,
I think he's you could
high
you
risk,
don't-
high reward.
Yeah, I mean, again, Derrick Henry down the stretch last year, like just looking at the end of last season, the last 3 games he had 160 yards, 147, and 138.
Yeah, and he had like 190 in week 1. So I don't know. I feel like the Ravens will get back to where they were at some point here, and he has a chance to just go nuclear. I don't think any of these other guys have a chance to go nuclear. They're more like just good values. You know what I
And
mean?
AJ Brown also just I don't know if that's a good idea, but it basically if you're like, I don't know what's going on in my season, I got to shake it up. Sometimes
I'm
you
not
need
trying to get
unlikely.
5th place.
I'm
This
doing
happens all the time though.
doing the Jack Nicholson nod me.
Yeah.
A player who was bad all year then explodes in every sport every season. This is fantasy baseball. This is fantasy football, basketball. We write off, let's say 10 players a year. one or two of the guys always explodes down the stretch. It just, you never. So yeah, AJ Brown, I'm in support of that as well.
He's gonna suck.
Yeah, he's awful. It's a terrible idea. I don't know why you came up with that. Ringer Fantasy League update. I am in first.
Woo.
DK's in second.
Woo.
Sal and House are tied for third. Craig and Sean are tied for fifth.
Bangkok Craig.
Mal is all alone in seventh, outside looking at the playoffs, and then Bill is tied for last.
My team is I'm like the Steelers, actually. I'm gonna sneak into the playoffs and get my doors blown off from the wild card round.
Blow the bloody doors off you.
I'm like the fucking Packers. I'm so fraudulent.
I think my team's a little bit fraudulent too because I lost both of my starting quarterbacks. I had Jaden and Kyler to start the year. Now I'm going with Brissett and Mariota, which it's fine, but I don't think I'm going to win.
I really want to get you guys out to LA if you're in the championship. You too.
Oh my God, playing each other.
I mean, I'm cool with that.
And
it's a win-win. It's a win-win for the podcast.
Well, that's the problem with the fantasy championship, which we haven't talked about before the championship. But the NFL schedule is in this awful place where it's between the 16-game era and the 18-game era, which is probably 2 or 3 years away. They're going to do it. So now the fantasy championship is Christmas week, which means there's like 2 to 3 games. I think 3 games on Christmas now or 2. That's Thursday this year. Then there's also games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
That's just
so it's like it's so dispersed because it's like Christmas morning. You're like supposed to be with your family or whatever, and you're setting your championship lineup. And it's
hold on. I need to look at my phone.
That's just is wrong.
Daddy would like peace and quiet for Christmas this year, family.
And you're between like 2 people, and you're like, wait,
and you're
Aaron
to your
Jones
family.
is a hamstring. He's going to play on like Sunday, and I have to make this decision about playing him now on Thursday or not because that's when my backup. You know what I mean? It's kind of fragmented. It's kind of crazy.
Wait, I don't believe there are Saturday games, Heifetz. It's just Sunday.
I think there are. They just haven't been assigned yet.
Oh, I'm looking at the schedule. Currently says none, but maybe it'll change.
So I can double check, but
thought they spared us.
Yeah, there's 5 games here that say TBD.
There's 5 Saturday games. No, but there's only 3. Sorry, two of the 5 are going to get moved. They flex them based on the games that like are being bad. They move them, but there are 3 games on Saturday.
Oh damn! Well, that sucks.
Craig's disdain towards the schedule of
hate
the
NFL
it.
Is
well, that favorite. So I only brought that up because you were like, you'll file us out for the championship. Which day? Christmas?
Well, the only thing I guess we could do is if it came down to a crucial Monday Night Football matchup and like one of you was down 10 points and had a player, maybe. Rams Falcons is Monday night. One of you has
Falcons.
Puka and you're down 20. That'd be sweet.
We can do a live show.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Watch me tilt.
We're going to do Fantasy Court, but first, this episode is brought to you by American Eagle. Gift, hooray. Give great jeans this holiday season with American Eagle. They have all the wish list worthy new arrivals for everyone on your list, including you. Check out the comfy, cozy sweaters, soft fleece, sweatshirts, hoodies, flannels, and so much more. Plus, you'll love their trending jeans like the high-waisted stovepipe, original straight, boot cut, and a whole bunch of other fits. They've got every style and everyone covered. You can check it all out at ae.com or just go to the store. What was so funny about gift, hooray, Craig?
Nothing at all.
Goddamn right. Got something about ae.com? Got something against it?
No.
All right. Fantasy Court.
Definitely don't tell anyone about this thing that you're doing.
I don't really want to be handcuffed.
The definition of an object is a material thing that can be seen and touched.
Craig just in his powdered wig reading from the dictionary.
With my monocle.
The definition of an object.
So we have a couple good fantasy courts here.
All right.
And I actually usually read these and have a strong sense of whose side I'm on.
Okay.
I really don't know what I think about this one.
Okay.
So this one's from Richard.
Richie.
Arbo.
Anybody seen Richie?
I thought
you guys really got to watch it.
Still don't know that.
Send me the clip. I'll watch it. Probably not going to watch it.
One day later, still don't get it.
Yeah. I thought you guys were going to say dick, but yeah.
I'm so alone as a 31-year-old man who exclusively watches shitty 80s movies. I have no one to talk to.
Craig, if you give me a heads up on the rewatchables movies, I'll watch them with you.
I can do that.
Because I need to get back to some of them. It makes me very nostalgic for the 80s.
Yeah. Watch Snake Eyes that just came out last night. Nick Cage, Brian De Palma, 1998. Good movie.
Ooh, love it.
Anyway.
Brian De Palma. He did Scarface, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Heifetz, go ahead.
Sorry. I like De Palma movies. Blowout with Travolta is a great one. I think I said that recently on a pod.
This one's from Richard. Right, I did that already. Sorry. I got lost.
Arbone.
The case here from Arbone. My typical breakfast is just a granola bar and a banana with a glass of apple juice.
Apple juice?
Apple juice in the morning. Interesting. But he says, now for the urgent matter requiring your assistance. I'm the commissioner of our fantasy league with my friends. We have a stupid rule that whoever finishes in second to last place gets to institute a rule change for the following season with no league vote and no questions asked.
Why second to last?
So you try, makes like the loser bracket more interesting, I guess.
I guess. I have no idea.
I feel like second might be the best one to do.
I think it's probably
first.
to incentivize the bad teams. Like if you got to change a rule, you'd probably like really try at the end.
It's like all about like trying to fix parity maybe or something like that. I don't know.
They also do have a severe last place punishment. But they
severe.
Severe. So, of course, this rule comes with the caveat that you do have to roster a real team and you do have to play your best lineup. So in other words, you can't just intentionally tank in the loser's bracket just to get the rule change. And we have a pretty severe last place punishment to further disincentivize foul play. Now, usually the rule change
Did
is
he
to
not
score
give the punishment? Now I want to know what the punishment is.
I know. Now I want to send us the severe punishment.
Email him. Yeah.
Come on, Arbone. But usually the rule change is the scoring settings like PPR, half PPR, making tight ends get more points per reception or adding a super flex or getting rid of it. Well, last year, the 11th place player, who we will call Mac.
M-Bone.
Added the controversial rule that whoever was in last place 10 weeks into the season could force any one-for-one player trade on their team with the person in first place.
Oh my God.
And Mac called it the great rebalancing.
Seize the means of production. Okay. This is wild.
Yeah, so the last
so they
place
could force
team
any other team.
No,
the first place team
first place only. Okay,
must accept any
so this
trade.
is going to be Jonathan Taylor
sucks.
for fucking Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
worse. So unsurprisingly, this rule has totally transformed the strategy and integrity.
No one
of the
wants
league,
to be in first,
flattening the top of the standings because no one wants to lose their best player. This is like cheating on your taxes, but for fantasy. This is like I don't make that much money. All of this came crashing down in week 10. Mac was in fourth place entering the week. He is Jonathan Taylor. But Mac had the most points scored on the year. So the three league members in the first three, at the top of the standings, the people in first, second, and third place, made a separate group chat with some of the with each other, and they convinced Mac's opponent to bench their entire roster.
Collusion.
Mac had already started Jonathan Taylor in the Germany game. So Mac is going to beat this guy because he's benched all his players. Then the top three seeds all benched all of their players, which forced, so Mac won. The top three, he's in fourth. The top three people lost. They all benched their players. So the person, Mac, who's in fourth place, now is in first place after 10 weeks.
Yep.
So
I thought they had a rule that you had to make your best lineup.
Well, we're getting to that.
Okay.
So now that this has happened, Mac is on top of the standings at 6-4 after 10 weeks. Last place is insisting on acquiring Jonathan Taylor straight up for Joe Mixon, who has not played all year and will not play. So Mac is adamant that sitting these players is collusion and goes against the intent of his rule, citing the general requirement to set a real lineup. But people have been manipulating their rosters all season, and most of the league is happy to see Mac as the one to suffer for his own monstrous creation.
So people have already been manipulating their rosters to try to
they don't want to be
in
in first.
Probably why 6-4 is in first place in this league.
But I guess there is a difference between manipulating something independently and colluding with others to do it.
Yeah. So as the commissioner, my first impulse is to push the Mixon trade through, then set a league vote to terminate the rule after the season. We're willing to act in whatever way the court seems appropriate. Now, I want to start with this. The act of creating a group chat and conspiring to bench all of your players and then convincing his opponent is the definition of collusion.
Right.
So there was collusion. I feel like the question is not whether there was collusion. They are very much breaking the rules by not setting their best lineup. I think the question here is not whether they broke the rules. They absolutely together colluded to break a rule. The question is this funny enough to justify breaking the rules? To have this guy be the person to... But like, tell me if you guys disagree. There's no question that they colluded to break a very specific rule.
Wait, and the guy who's in first was the guy who got 11th last year?
He's the guy who got 11th and invented this rule. The great rebalancing was his idea.
So
now
Mac,
he has to send John Taylor.
The
for
guy
Joe
with John Taylor came up with the rule.
And I
That
think
is...
Yeah,
but that wasn't like naturally what happened. They like colluded to get him into first.
Well, have there been other examples of group collusion this season? Or
I think maybe it's like someone played a player over this. I don't think anyone's benched all, and if they have, that would actually be important to know. I think we should assume that no one has benched all of their players to take a loss.
I can't tell because this is this guy's rule. It's hilarious. They'll get rid of it after this year. The rule itself sows chaos, and that's what is happening. Like, that was the point of the rule, was to make the season chaos.
Also, that is one of your core tenets of your league, is that there's going to be a chaotic rule.
Yes.
You just have to live with it.
You have to set your best lineup as a rule, even though nobody's been following it.
I think there's a difference between like you're playing Trey Tucker over Alec Pierce and you're going to bet. And then there's like, I'm going to bench all my players to lose.
Everyone.
And then there's everyone colluding to bench all of their players. Which probably should, I mean, here's the thing. The right answer here is probably they should have to have set their lineups. Basically, whatever lineups were set last week have to be reset for this week. Flip in the obvious bye week players. And then whoever ends up in first has to make a trade.
I don't like that they benched all of their players. So they started 0 people.
They convinced everyone else to bench. I think that's the thing. Is like the funny answer here.
Group chat.
The funny answer here being removed from it is like, it's funny that this guy made the rule and he has to trade Jonathan Taylor for Joe Mixon. But like, obviously it's fucked up.
Yeah. I might have been okay with it if they all fielded a roster, but it was just the worst players on their team.
Yeah. You know why? You know what they screwed up? Ronak, can you play the intro again for Fantasy Court?
Definitely don't tell
That's the first rule! I don't really want to be handcuffed.
The definition of an object is a material thing.
They left a paper trail.
Is touched.
Definitely don't tell anybody you're doing.
It's the first thing we say. Is
if we can just keep this
put it in writing.
Us, I can't have this group chat leaked.
And that's the.
They should have done a face-to-face meeting where it can be recorded, and then made bad lineups that were somewhat defensible in a court of law. This is just like caught red-handed.
Yeah, this is sloppy.
The funniest rule, the funniest line in the Wire is like there's like a literal meeting of all the drug dealers, like a cartel, and then the guy in the corner, the number 2, and he comes out and Idris Elba comes over. He's like, "Are you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy? Yeah. Give me that!" And he like shreds up the paper. Yeah. And that's what they did. They took notes on a criminal conspiracy.
How did Mac find out that there was a group chat?
Probably when everybody
four of the 12 people, points.
A third of the league benched all their players.
I would have denied. That was happenstance.
I think they added like other people in the chat too who weren't part of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you should allow this trade.
I think like kudos for the bit, but no.
This should be we're undoing it. And specifically, I think the simplest thing for the commissioner, because like this is the problem being commissioner. You got to deal with shit like this. Last week's lineups for all 3 teams, and 4 teams actually that benched it, copy paste. Bye week people or people that didn't play get injuries, just the most obvious. Honestly, because they did this, the highest scoring person goes in from their bench. And then whoever ends up at first has to do the fucking rebalancing trade.
You guys all agreed to have this be a rule in your league that the 11th place person makes a rule. So you made your bet.
Yeah, that is insane.
You made your bet.
Yeah, that's fair. You should just see who would have been in first and then make the trade.
Okay.
What a absolutely diabolical rule.
It's funny though.
After week 10.
It is.
Week 10, it's so funny. Okay.
They're all jockeying to be in like 4th place. It's pretty good.
Oh my God. That is really funny. The next fantasy court here, I have so many questions about this one. I almost kept it out because I actually really wanted to follow up with this person. I'm checking now. They have not emailed me back, which is too bad. But no, not yet. It's okay. But I'm going to read it anyway because I had so many questions. So this is from George.
G-Bone.
So George, hey guys, love the show. Breakfast, cold brew with a toasted cinnamon raisin bagel, cream cheese, bacon, and egg sandwich.
Wow.
Cream cheese.
Wait, it's a cream cheese bacon and egg
Cream
sandwich?
cheese, bacon. Well, it's bacon and egg.
Or is the cream cheese on the cinnamon bagel?
Oh, it's toasted cinnamon bagel,
Cream cheese, bacon, and egg sandwich.
Oh, he probably had half a bagel with cream cheese and then bacon and egg? Or do you think it was a cinnamon raisin bagel that had cream cheese, bacon, and egg?
Yes, the second one.
No, that can't be. A cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese, eggs, and bacon?
Sure.
There's a lot going on there. I think he had a cinnamon bagel with cream cheese, which is acceptable, and then a bacon, egg, and cheese.
No, I think DK's. I think it.
You think it's all in one?
Yeah, I do. This is a big divide.
That can't be.
This is a big divide between. I feel like there's a coastal elitism to what can be on a breakfast sandwich, frankly, and I'm part of it. But
a coastal elitism.
I'm just being honest. I don't know what else to call it. Uppityness. Like I think I'm part of it. New Yorkers gatekeep what can go on a breakfast sandwich.
But look, it's not what can go on it. It's the combination of flavors. It's not. I'm not upset that it's cream cheese or that it's just
cinnamon raisin is what you're worried about.
It's things that go together.
No, the cream cheese with bacon and egg is the sin here. Cinnamon raisin.
No, and the cinnamon raisin is weird. I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think the weirdest part of the whole thing is combining cinnamon raisin with egg.
Does the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich that's so famous in New York, is that what it is? Those are the three things. Does it have like? Is it dry? Or does it have like butter, or there's no cream cheese or whatever? I forget.
It's butter.
Butter. Okay.
Or not. I mean, or it's just a toasted bagel.
If you've paid for money for bacon, egg, and cheese, there's butter on it.
But like it's egg, or you get like ketchup or hot sauce or something.
Anyway,
there's massive disparities in what cream cheese.
Let's follow up with this guy.
I think cinnamon raisin and egg is the part that stands out to me. That's
anyway. All. George, let us know. So anyway, George,
I like the idea of egg, bacon, cream cheese. I'm willing to give that a shot. That sounds kind of good, actually.
So George writes, I don't even think this is a case. I just have questions and I wanted to read this to you guys. And I want to know what questions we got back from George here. George says, I'm in a league with my best friend since 7th grade. His wife, his friends with one of their wives as well. And he has this whole thing where he kind of sets it up where he kind of thinks his friend might be doing the wife, maybe some favors with the trades, but that's not the part that's interesting nor I have questions about. So George writes, my friend, we'll call him Nick, has been the commissioner and introduced me to fantasy and has fallen in love with it. This year, something weird has happened in the league. We have 3 people with the same team name. Our commissioner, apparently Nick, and another player who I don't know, has copied someone's team name, Greg, to make it difficult to know which manager is actually the real one. They're all named Greg. Everyone's named their team Greg.
No problem with that. That's funny.
That's the Ringer League. Like the Ringer League is every variation.
The Ringer League, everyone's named Danny Kelly.
Which was Craig's start. And then everyone did it. And then Craig got out. So anyway.
Fuck the lemons and bail.
Yeah. So we have 3 teams named Greg. One is the real Greg. One is Nick. One is unknown. And I didn't really see a problem with this until I tried to negotiate a trade with Nick, and he wouldn't give me a straight answer on which team was actually his. And he finally gave me an answer, but then he just joked that he actually had 2 teams.
What?
And then George writes, this upset me. The commissioner might have 2 teams. Because if that was true, that's obviously cheating. Fast forward 2 weeks, I found out the team he told me isn't actually his, but the real Greg. What the fuck? My question, is my friend the commissioner being untrustworthy or am I overreacting?
How do you not know who's in your league?
That's what I said. What do you mean you don't know who this person is? He doesn't know if it's like Kaiser Soze in fantasy. He thinks the 10th person in his league doesn't exist.
Did he say they've been in this since 7th grade?
His friend is from 7th grade, but I think he's like he's that guy who doesn't know everybody.
He's in a league with my best friend, his wife.
He's like the out-of-towner.
And his friends.
But like, is there a group chat? Count the amount of people in the group chat.
That's what I said. The idea that you could just not know. Like, look, everyone is a league where maybe you don't know the 10th.
I don't think it's that uncommon to not really know everybody in the league.
But also, like, whatever platform you're using, like Yahoo, you can go in and see it's like Instagram where you have a handle but also a name. You can go in and actually see the owner of the team.
That's the funny part, DK. It's not that they don't know him.
Need to
It's that
dox
his
this guy.
inability to identify the person.
Mm.
When I'm like, is George a boomer who can't click on a team and find the person's name? There's no group chat. You can't even ask someone whose number is this. Like to me, the idea that there actually might be 9 teams in a league and the commissioner has made a burner team that is just propping up him and his wife's team is like the fact that was even possible.
He's
for like
getting
adults.
fantasy catfished.
Yes, it's a fantasy catfish situation. He's wondering if the commissioner's fantasy catfishing him with 3 teams named Greg.
It's a hot blonde woman named Lauren.
What is this?
Tuiasosopo.
What's going on with this Greg
I don't know.
thing?
Greg Tuiasosopo out over here is like fucking running one of these 10 teams.
The 10th manager in this league is this really pretty blonde lady. She wants to make a trade with me, but she wants to do it in person. She seems great.
I know. It's like all the Instagram and the Ringer Fantasy Football, the Instagram, there's all these like beautiful women in bikinis who want to help us build.
She just
a
needs my
website.
credit card information and then we'll do the trade.
It's so crazy.
I like the idea of getting fantasy catfished.
Fantasy catfish by a team, and you're like, who the fuck runs this
that
team?
doesn't exist.
It's like the Charlie Kelly meme from Sunny, where he's just like, Pepe Silly Carol,
Yeah.
Carol.
It's like that lady on the plane. That man does not exist.
It
That
doesn't-
team isn't real.
That motherfucker is not real. So I there's no case here. I just was like blown away by this person not being able to identify who the 10th person in the league is.
Yeah, I need you to do some digging, George.
Because I actually don't want them to respond yet. And I do want you to email back, George. My fear was that they would respond and be like, oh, I just clicked on the name and it's Bill. And I was like, oh, that would have been disappointing. I wanted to keep alive the idea that the commissioner has 2 teams. Anyway, I thought that was really funny.
3 teams named Greg.
3 teams named Greg. Oh my God. All right. But George probably just is a boomer. Anyway, we got some emails here.
Emails.
This one's from Jake.
Jacob.
With all the discussion about the name Jug,
Yeah, Jug.
I wanted to bring to your attention that the Minnesota Vikings kick returner, Miles Price, is nicknamed Jug in the locker room because his head looks like a jug.
His head looks like a jug?
The Vikings have decided his head looks like a jug. And while you look that up, the Minnesota Star Tribune wrote a story where they quoted the special teams coordinator who said, asked about why his nickname is Jug. The special teams coordinator said, and I quote, his head looks like a jug.
It's a little jug-like, I suppose. It's kind of a rounder head.
I feel like it's a picture. I feel like I need a 360 to see the real jug. Like, it just kind of looks like a head to me.
I know.
Yeah. He looks pretty normal to me.
But they get
again,
to see the head from all angles.
I'm talking about legally named.
They're Christian.
Because
they were baptized Jug.
Jug Earp was not his real name. That was his nickname.
Jug Earp.
I hereby baptize Jug.
Anyway,
Oh yeah, did Craig and Liz are bringing their baby Jug over today?
Oh man.
Also, jug is a funny word because I don't even know the right word. How many things even qualify? What is a jug? I don't even own a jug.
It's a vessel to hold water.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like a Gatorade jug.
But even that, what actual shape? What is the jug? Is it just like how big?
A jug
is
a large cylinder.
I'm seeing all kinds of different.
I'm realizing now I can't.
It's like a pitcher.
Yeah, but it's a jug of water. But I'm like, what is a jug?
It's a big cylinder that you put liquid in.
But like the Gatorade, that's not a. Is that a jug? Not like I'm like getting the.
It's kind of a jug with a top.
There's a plastic gallon jug, like a jug of milk.
Oh yeah, I guess people say jug of milk.
Gallon jug, huh?
When you say jug a lot, it starts to sound real weird.
Yeah,
the definition of jug is a large container for liquids with a narrow mouth and typically a stopper or cap.
There you go.
So I guess it is just a pitcher.
Okay. Well, that's
like
the fantasy
growler.
court thing. A definition of a jug.
Why is a pitcher called a pitcher?
Craig, I don't know.
What the fuck?
It's not pitching.
Why is anything named anything?
It should be called a pourer.
Yeah, like that is like
you would never like. Hey, can I pitch you some water?
Because
you
you
sound
pitch,
like a psycho.
When you pitch something, you're throwing it.
You're pitching the layer or the level over, and the water flies out.
Pitch?
Yeah, it's pitched to an angle, and then the water comes out.
Is that what pitching means?
It's pitched, like you pitch it to the side.
Like there's a slope.
Yeah.
Is that what pitching means? Like something, it's not just throwing.
Hold
it's
on.
like
It does say
Here's the deal. A lot of words mean more than one thing.
The second definition of pitch is the steepness of a slope.
There you go. The pitch. You change the pitch and the water falls out.
And I guess that does make sense with a pitcher in baseball even.
Huh. So there's pitchers both pitch and throw, and they change the angle.
And and they're even throwing from a mound, so there's a slope.
Also, it just
So
could be
pitchers
the
are
same word
perfectly
means
named.
two different things.
Pitchers
But
really
pitchers-
are perfectly named.
Satisfy all three things. That's amazing, actually. It's like
What's
super right name.
Which position name is the least accurate to what they actually do as a player?
Well, shortstop's the coolest name, but the worst name. Oh,
Shortstop's the coolest name.
I think the worst name is offensive tackle, because your whole point, like, don't get anyone tackled.
Don't get anyone tackled.
It's like the opposite of what you do.
Yeah.
There is no offensive tackling.
Yeah, I mean that's it right there.
It's not a thing. The best name is center, because they have to be. Like,
Yeah. You're right. Offensive. I'm trying to think. I'm like running through basketball. They all make
There's
sense.
guard.
Goalie makes sense. You know.
Shooting guard is funny because all of them shoot. But yeah.
Quarterback doesn't really make any sense anymore either.
Yeah. Quarterback.
No, quarterback's like a vestigial name. Yeah.
Right.
It made sense at the time.
Yeah.
Fullback,
Catcher.
halfback.
I mean, catcher is rock solid.
Catcher is top tier.
You say the
we
word
should do the
catcher,
S
you know
tier.
exactly what that guy's doing.
Pitcher, catcher, center. Perfect.
Goalie. Pretty
Goal-
good.
Goalie's like a little like yeah.
Goalie's like a little fun.
Cute. It's
A little
cute.
pizzazz.
He's the goalie. Yeah. The other one that's funny, guard. Guard's perfect. Offensive, like in football.
Guard.
Like he does guard. They should all be called guards.
The goalie should really be like the stopper.
Stopper. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
There is a position, isn't there, in soccer called a stopper?
Striker.
Well, there's also a striker.
Soccer has a position called stopper.
I was unaware of that.
Stopper.
Are you sure?
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, a stopper in soccer is a defensive player, typically a center back. Maybe
Wow.
that's just like in youth
No, you're right.
soccer. I don't know.
Wow.
I've watched 30 soccer games in my
I don't know if they
maybe
still
32.
use stopper in like fucking FIFA or whatever, but it was at one point something that they used to describe.
Unlike a more free-roaming sweeper, according to Gemini, the stopper is the more physically imposing player. So he's the strong safety, the Cam Chancellor, if you
he's
will, to
the-
Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
I would say punter right on the nose.
Punter.
Kicker.
Should this be Power Hour next
Wide
week?
receiver is pretty good.
Yep.
Wide receiver.
I mean, running back is pretty good.
Sure.
running back is good. Tight end is
Tight end describes
going on?
where
Tight
they
end's
stand.
solid.
so they name
Describes
no-
where you line up.
So the top. So his pitcher get its own tier because it means like three different. I think pitcher satisfying
But-
every definition is crazy.
Yeah, but pitcher actually. No, yeah, you're right. Okay.
But then
Although-
no notes is like catcher, center, kicker, punter.
I mean, third base man
Third
is
base.
pretty good.
First
First
base
base man.
That's pretty good. Third baseman. Yeah, that's pretty good.
He's the man on first base. It's fucking descriptive.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty good.
All of
Center field,
baseball,
left field,
really.
right. Baseball's
Center-
figured it out.
Yeah, baseball.
Baseball,
Yeah.
the names haven't changed because the sport hasn't really changed.
It's
So-
really just every name's right except shortstop, which is
Yeah.
just kind of cool sounding.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
Me too.
That was really worthwhile.
What other sports are we? Basketball? Now they just number them.
The
If I
positions,
could name
mean,
the
even-
hockey positions, I would, but I don't know.
Well,
if I
it's
can.
forward. There's center and forward, but it's complicated because
What are the defensive players called
Winger.
in hockey?
Center, right wing,
Defenseman.
left wing, right
They're just called
defense, left
defensemen?
defense, and goalie.
There's no defensive positions. They're just called all just defensemen.
Right
think
defense,
so.
left defense. I don't know.
I think it's just defenseman
Hmm.
with a C, which is Canadian, I guess. Anyway, you guys want? Should we end the show, or do you want a little science?
I'll take a little science.
Yeah. Give me just a
Give me a little
skosh.
taste.
All right, this is from Brooke.
Brooke.
B-bone.
So Brooke, who has sent us great physics stuff in the past, wanted to clarify the temperature of the sun trivia question.
Thank
where
you,
we all
Brooke.
felt a little dumb because it was 10,000 degrees.
It's the surface
And we
of the
said-
sun, right?
Oh yeah, she will said. So Brooke says, I think that trivia question did y'all a little dirty because yes, the surface of the sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, but the core of the sun is hot AF, like 27 million degrees.
Ooh,
Okay.
And
that
even
does
the
make me feel
outer
better.
atmosphere of the sun is like over 1 million degrees. So we actually were kind of close.
What did we say? I can't even remember.
You said 100, Craig said 500, I said 1 million. Or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember because I was literally thinking of those 3 numbers, and then you two said the other 2 I didn't say.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to say 1 million, then I went a little lower.
So
okay, well that makes me feel better.
We also spent a long time talking about how do you know the temperature of the sun? DK was like, it's like an anal thermometer. Brooke said that's actually exactly correct.
It's a probe.
No, just kidding. No, that's obviously wrong. She said they know how hot the surface is, much like how you can tell the temperature of heated metal by its glow. We all knew that. It's based on color, the wavelength of the light coming off it. We know the core temperature of the sun because we understand the fusion reactions going on in the core of the sun, and that has to be how hot, or it has to be that hot for them, the fusion reactions to work.
The sun is scary.
Sounds
It is.
Sounds nuts.
It's so hot.
Sometimes I think about like everything that's going on in space, and I'm like, man, I really hope everything is just stable. You know,
it's wild.
Craig, I heard that the sun's shooting extra rays at us these days, just in this specific time, which means we could get some aurora borealis going on, aka
the fact that
northern lights.
That's one of the most underrated things that's happening. Is like, I don't know what's global warming. We're all kind of numb to it. The fact that anything's going on, where like the northern lights, where you have to go to Scandinavia to see this in certain times of the year, and if it's cloudy, you're fucked. And they're like, yeah, it's kind of just gonna happen wherever now. That's crazy.
Well, no, I think it's well, I read something about this. I'm
solar flares.
I'm obviously not an expert on anything science, but apparently the sun goes through stages of activity where it's more reactive and whatnot, and it shoots whatever it is that it shoots at the earth, the rays of things, energy particles. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but anyways, it shoots stuff towards us, and then when that hits the atmosphere, that's what helps create the northern lights. So there's periods of more northern light activity, which I saw the northern lights like, I don't know, maybe a year ago or 6 months ago or something. It was huge where I live, which is very, very rare. And I guess it was because there was just more sun activity. And they go in cycle. It goes in cycles of like 10 years.
And you know what the aurora borealis is? Fucking plasma.
Plasma.
And Brooke said plasma is okay. I was like, what's plasma? She's really easy. Solid is locked atoms, not going anywhere. Liquid, loosely held together atoms, kind of just hanging on. And then gas is when atoms are just flying everywhere, like just flying all the time. Like that's gas. But as energy increases, atoms go insane. Plasma is next level. Plasma is the fourth state of matter, where there's so much energy, the fucking electrons break apart, leave the protons, and there's a soup of free electrons all bouncing around like a chaotic ocean of electricity. And that's what the sun is made of.
Wow.
That is scary.
See, you know what I mean? I'm like, that seems unstable.
I always think about this like the sun is however many million miles away. It's like fucking far away. And the difference in temperature in the sun and the shade is like pretty dramatic. And
I know.
Think about how fucking far away the sun is. Like, I'm just like, that is insane to me.
That's why people come to the show. Because last week we were like, sun's hot. Now we're like, sun's far.
Dude, the sun is far and hot.
All right.
The slight tilt of the earth is what makes the seasons. That's why right now all the fucking leaves are falling off my trees.
I know, it is actually.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah, it's crazy to just think about. It's pretty amazing.
Calvin's like, why is it so dark? Like, I picked him up at daycare the other day and he was like, why are you so late? I'm like, I'm not late. It's just, it gets dark earlier.
And you're
now.
like, so listen here, Calvin. We're actually moving at 70,000 miles an hour around the sun.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Email us more fantasy courts, ringoffantasyfootball@gmail.com. George, let us know what's going on with this 10th person, George. My God. Any other fantasy catfishing, let us know that. Science, if we had our fill, emails, trivia questions as well about anything. Yeah, fantasyfootball.theringer.com for rankings this week. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, the Killers.
Nice.
I was trying to think of a sun-related. What's a sun-related band?
Sonny and Cher.
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Sonny and Cher.
Casey and the Sunshine Band, great one.
Oh yeah.
Sonny and Cher. Yeah, I'm glad you got that right. Glad you nailed that.
Still can't believe that.
Sonny.
Well, what the fuck is the O there for?
The word SON.
We don't have to get into it again.
I didn't know
I just think
that.
it was funny.
Dude,
Who says Sonny? Did people in your life say that?
say
Sonny?
what?
Like, hey, Sonny.
If that's
you're my
someone's
son?
name.
She's like, what?
Sonny boy. Listen
it's
here,
like-
Sonny boy.
It's literally like goalie for a person's name.
Yeah. You had an IE
Goal.
on the end of it or a
You had a
Y.
son. You're like, Sonny. It's like the
There's
least
just
creative thing
no
you could
one's ever
possibly
been
say.
named Sonny. It's like there are famous Sonny Liston, Sonny
I knew of
Cher,
one.
Sonny from Godfather. You know what I mean?
Sonny Jurgensen.
Thought it was like every other name spelled that way. I'm like, Ronnie. I'm like, I wouldn't say Runny.
But like the baseball player, Sonny Gray. What did you think his name was?
I was confused.
Sonny. He thought it was Sonny, Craig.
You never heard anyone say Sonny Gray's name?
I saw on the Yankees and I was like, why did they say it like this? This is weird.
You thought they were all wrong.
Surely if his name was Sonny, there'd be a fucking U.
Surely you can't be serious.
Yeah.
Dude, the Earth.
That is the best example of culture being like the Paul Newman thing. That line is known by people who saw Airplane, and then there was a generational gap, and then it was people who saw the end of Call of Duty 4. And then
Wait, what?
people
What line?
Surely you can't be serious. I am
There's
serious.
a
but don't
reference
call
to
me
that
Shirley.
in Call of Duty 4, which was the biggest video game ever at the time. And that is how everyone learned about that line of my age, personally.
It's all cyclical. It's like I got to witness Heifetz realizing that Warren G sampled Michael McDonald.
Yeah, that was
It was
wild.
amazing.
Regulate,
Heifetz was like, "What?"
regulate sampling Michael McDonald. I
That was
couldn't
great.
have gotten in a trillion years.
Dude, how is the Earth spinning at 1,000 miles per hour?
Okay,
This is
How?
wild.
I don't know, Craig.
The Earth is spinning right now at 1,000 miles per hour.
You're gonna spin off of this planet.
Just saying.
Why don't we just fly off?
You ever hear
What's
statements
gravity
like that
all
and you're
about?
like, I can see how people don't believe that.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the whole point. The whole point of like people having conspiracy theories. It's like you just don't understand what's happening.
Right,
Therefore,
it's like
you
so
come up
it's
with your own
weird.
shit.
It's mind-boggling, you know? It's so
It
crazy.
is
Get your mind. It's
mind-boggling.
like in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know. If I walked up to somebody, I was like, this Earth is moving 67,000 miles per hour right now, and it's spinning 1,000 miles per hour while doing that. Somebody would be like, no way. Rogers would be like, no way.
Like, I'm not a doctor, but you know what? There's no way.
He's
Well,
like,
Rogers, if you went up to him, like, I think the Earth's completely still. He'd be like, no way, but it's moving fast.
yeah, it's whatever you say.
Like, that's actually how we should convince the flat earthers. We're like, I think the Earth's super flat. And they're like, nah, I bet this shit's round.
What's the conspiracy that you believe the most?
Can I give you one that I actually organically thought of? And I'm sure other people have come up
Well,
with
you
this.
came
but
up with this conspiracy?
It's kind of the same way you come up with an idea. I'm like, I'm sure other people have had this idea, but it's not mainstream. I've never heard it from anyone else. I just kind of was like, that doesn't make sense. I don't believe this story. So, you know how like William McKinley was president and Teddy Roosevelt was vice president? William McKinley was shot by this random guy.
Okay.
I think Teddy Roosevelt totally had William McKinley killed.
Why?
Because big picture, everything you know about Teddy Roosevelt is he's like this unstoppable force of nature. He's like a total hawk. He's like a Winston Churchill, like a lifelong, like we're going to war. Like before World War I, when America did enter World War I, Teddy Roosevelt took a region, like a group of people and went to upstate New York and trained for the war for like 3 years until they entered so they'd be ready. Like he's just a very like deterministic manifest destiny person. And the idea that, and he was so politically powerful that they put him at vice president because vice president was like useless at the time. It was like a career ending thing. And they stuck him there to get rid of Teddy Roosevelt and his career. And the idea that Teddy Roosevelt is one of the most influential people in the history of the United States of America just so happened. What a lucky break for Teddy Roosevelt to become president because the guy ahead of him was shot by a totally random guy for no reason. Just doesn't make sense.
Who stuck him at vice president?
The leaders of the, I think it was Bull Moose or whatever, basically
The
a bunch of
Illuminati?
like his part. It's kind of like how Pete Buttigieg got fucking transportation secretary. They're like, go do something boring. Like they just didn't want, you know what I mean? But that was vice president at the time.
I mean, I can't disprove this.
I mean, I can't
know?
either. I'm probably wrong, but it just seems like quite the coincidence for what in every other context of his life was the most like aggressive fuck. Teddy Roosevelt had his seat hot. He lowered the couch in the Oval Office so he could fucking peer over people and like be taller than them. He'd stare them down. And I'm like, I kind of think he just had fucking.
You know a
Teddy,
lot of Teddy
was
facts.
kind of
You
he was
really
a pretty
looked
big
into this.
badass.
I knew all this before. I just was kind of like thinking about him. Like this
He
doesn't
put
make
two
any
and two
sense.
together.
Why are you such a Teddy Roosevelt head?
He's an important guy.
There's a lot of important people.
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Because he was fucking manly. That's why.
Okay.
He was the original.
Also,
alpha.
save football. Teddy Roosevelt's actually the one who made too many people are dying playing football, and he was the one who's like, wear fucking helmets like the Packers. That Romeo Dobbs.
Without knowing a lot about Teddy Roosevelt, he was a fucking badass. That's why, Craig.
Okay.
That's all.
Just curious. There was no negative intent in there. Just asking why you're interested in Teddy.
All right, goodbye, everyone. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.